Here is the second new touring car that was just added to Forza Motorsport. This 2018 Peugeot No. 7 DG Sport Competition 308. And while the MG6 X-Power that we looked at in the last video was added for everyone to just buy with credits, this one is part of the car pass. So sadly you will have to pay a little bit of extra money to get this car if you don't own car pass already. Does that mean this car will now be overpowered because pay to win? Well, let's find out. And with that, welcome back to HD Racing. If you enjoy this kind of content and haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. That would really help the channel quite a lot. And also consider hitting that like button and writing a comment down below. That's always nice for the algorithm, as you know. But now let's get to the car. And the Peugeot 308 is a really fun car, that I can say right off the bat. And we're looking right now at the Hotlap at Barcelona in the stock car, so no tuning done to this one. And well, it was performing okay, I would say. You can see here I'm racing an older Ghost of mine. I did try out this car before the MG and well, was just having a little bit of fun driving it around the track. And this is a Ghost of the Link where I didn't do all too well, I would say. And in this car, I was in this lap just trying to figure out what is this car about? What do I need to do with tuning? And don't worry, we're gonna look at a tuned variant as well, and I'm also gonna share the tune like I always do. But stock, the car actually felt quite good. It's almost always the same with these touring cars. They all don't feel bad. Like no car was really like horrible to drive, but they all suffer from too much understeer. As I said before, that's not something you can get rid of completely in the touring cars, at least not in the front wheel drive ones, but you can make it better. And that's the main point here. The car otherwise felt great to drive, albeit slow. But we can fix that at least a little bit. You can see I did a 154.216 and well, that time was okay, but not great. So I wanted to take a look at what can I do with tuning. And I did experiment quite a bit and settled on tuning settings where you can see the Hotlap for right now. I also did this after the MG that we did take a look at in the last video. So the Ghost we're racing against here is the best lap in the MG6 X-Power, which did an amazing 151.894, the best lap that I was ever able to do in the touring cars on this track, albeit I haven't done all too many cars in the Hotlap variant here on Barcelona, so take that with a grain of salt. But we're gonna get to that later. I think the MG is a really good car. Can this one, the Peugeot 308, keep up with it? Well, right now it's definitely, as you can see, still quite close. And the main thing is that these cars are, where they differ is the MG is, in my opinion, more of a power car that has definitely better straight line speed and acceleration than this one. But the Peugeot is better in terms of handling and can go around like the twisty sections and especially like chicanes, and also the slower corners a little bit better than the MG can. Overall in this lap I was not able to get quite to that time of the MG, but that was, I think, A, quite a good lap, and B, also I think the MG is a little bit stronger. It's a little bit too early still to really tell, but from my testing so far I think the MG is a really strong car. But the Peugeot is not far behind. You can see a 152.168 is nothing to scoff at. Like, it's not that far behind, and actually ahead of a lot of the other cars that I have driven around here, like the Link and also the Audi. I'm showing you here the tuning right now. As always, you can just go back and pause at any screen if you want to see the tuning or a specific screen of that in more detail. You can of course just use these settings that you can see here and make your own tune and also make adjustments to that. But if you want to just use the tune as is, you can also look for it. It's shared in Forza under my username HD Racing. So you can just take it if you don't want to do any adjustments to it. But yeah, that's the tune. You could see the car is doing quite well. Even though I was not able to get quite to the time of the MG, I think the car really has potential and it should perform quite a lot better, or at least come closer in the more handling focused or on the more handling focused tracks. The track that we are racing on now, and I'm going to show you a lot of this race, is Suzuka, and that is kind of a mixture between handling and speed. It has some quite fast sections, but also with the S's and also like in the second sector there are some quite tight corners, and I think, or I thought in this one the Peugeot could do really well. Getting off the line, I was able to jump the MG in second place, but well, there was a little bit of contact and I then had to fall back to P3. Just as a heads up, the guy in P1 was in qualifying like doing 1 or 1.5 seconds faster than everyone else, so he is a really good driver, I think, and yeah, was running away from us quite quickly. You're gonna be able to see, so don't take that as an indication. I think that's just a very, very good driver on Forza, and he is using the MG, by the way. So definitely a car that you can do quite a lot with. It might actually be that the MG is now like one of the best, if not the best car. As I said, still a little bit early to tell. I'm gonna make another video once we have some, like a little bit more of an idea, but it is very good. And you can see 2 of those right in front of me, and we're gonna battle at least the one in P2 quite a lot this race. And yeah, I'm able to keep up quite nicely, and was definitely feeling that this car, the Peugeot 308, is better in these handling focus sections. And you're gonna be able to see that the MG in front is actually gonna struggle in some sections, but he is most of the time gonna get away, or at least keep the distance on the straights. You can see here I have a little bit of slipstream still, but I'm not really able to get closer. And I think that's a little bit due to the power difference between the MG and the Peugeot. But the Peugeot 308 is not a bad car. And if you like a more well-behaved and handling-focused car, this one is really good. And I would really urge you to try it out if you have Car Pass or bought the car in any other way. It's really fun. And like from the way it drives and also everything else about it, like the visibility, you can see here, I still can see the mirrors, as by the way, you can see here the MG in front does have a little bit of trouble in that corner. But yeah, the visibility is great. It's the same in the MG, but yeah, it's definitely a good thing. There are some other cars, like for example the Audi, I really don't like the visibility in that. I always feel like I'm sitting way too low in that one. You can see a little bit of bumping going on, and yeah, we have some contact through these S's. It's really difficult to race side by side here. And like maybe at least the one time I did cut him off a little bit, so a little bit on me that one. But yeah, it happens. And sometimes touring cars also are called bumper cars for a reason. There is some contact sometimes, and at least nothing major happened. No one went off track, so it's all fine. Here you can see the MG really sends it on the inside. I'm not quite sure that was a very nice move, and I was a little bit frustrated in the race. I was like, he was clearly behind me and he just sent it on the inside. And I was like, that's not really cool for an overtaking maneuver, but I mean, what can you do? You can see we are jumping ahead a little bit, and well, I'm still keeping up and was actually doing kind of well. Staying behind him, and was trying to attack but not really making any progress. But I was sure that in these tighter corners I would have an opportunity at some point, and here was the opportunity for that, because he, I think, went on the grass a little bit and went into a slide. He still gets a very good exit out of the hairpin for some reason, and because of the power difference, he is able to pull ahead just a little bit, but I think was on his inside. I don't know if he didn't see that or if I really wasn't. Maybe that also wasn't the nicest move, I have to say. But yeah, I decided at that point it was okay and wanted to keep the position. I think it's debatable. You can let me know in the comments if that was a little bit of a bad move from my side, if I wasn't wheel to wheel with him anymore and I really should have not sent it into that corner. But then again, he did send it on the hairpin as well, and also with a little bit of collisions. So yeah, another collision here, by the way. So yeah, there was a lot of that going on. But from this point on, I'm actually able to pull away. We are now heading into the fourth lap, and you can see tires are starting to degrade in this one. This is a 7-lap race, so I have to do a 4-lap stint at some point. So I decided, well, let's get that out of the way and have good tires at the end. And I think it was a good idea, because you'll be able to see the MG behind me, who did the same, I think was worse on tires, because he did fall back quite significantly, and it wasn't from just a single incident, but actually he just lost out over the whole lap and is now 3 seconds behind me as we go into the pits, and definitely go for new tires here. Mediums should be fine for this one, 3 laps ahead, so at least I should be very much fine. You can see the other MG in front definitely has pulled quite the gap. As I said, really good driver. I think he was so much faster than everyone else in qualifying already. So yeah, I wasn't really thinking about getting closer to him. Well, I wanted to get closer if I could, but I was fairly certain that I wouldn't be able to get to him and overtake him. So yeah, I was just at this point trying to secure P2 in this case. And the MG behind me was able to get a little bit closer. You can see here like 2.5 seconds away now, as I get a little bit of an unfortunate penalty, but I did cut a little bit in that chicane. But yeah, you can see here we're getting to the end of the race, and I was able to keep the lead and actually extend it. And well, as I said before, the car felt really great. It's definitely better handling than the MG, but it lacks in terms of power compared to the MG, that's for sure. But I think both the new cars, both the MG and the Peugeot, are really great additions to the touring car series. Maybe they are even a little bit too good. As I said, time will tell, we'll figure that out, but they are definitely good. So if you have the chance, try these out. They are definitely fun to drive, and they drive differently. So yeah, if you like the more handling focused, try the Peugeot. If you want a little bit more of a power build, then the MG is for you. And well, we'll see how well they stack up once we get a little bit of an idea how they compare to all the other cars in the touring car series. But from preliminary testing, as I said, I think both these cars are up there for the top spots, and I think the MG might even take the #1 spot for touring cars away from the Audi. As I said, we're gonna see in another video once we have a little bit more of an idea. But yeah, this video should have been more about the Peugeot. I did talk quite a lot about the MG as well, because it's the other new car. But yeah, don't take away from this video that the MG is just the car to go for from these two new ones. The Peugeot definitely is up there. And as I said, on handling focus tracks, it might even be a little bit better. So definitely try out this car. If you want to try out my tune for it, either with the tune that I shared on Forza or with the tune that I showed you in the beginning of the video, and let me know how you get on with it. And well, with that, I just want to thank you once again for watching. If you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, as I said before, feel free to do so, would really help a lot. And with that, thanks a lot, and I've been HD Racing. See you in the next one.